This episode of This is Revolution podcast will delve into how the African American intelligentsia might react to a potential Kamala Harris presidency. Will they see her as a beacon of progress despite her past role in the tough on crime policies of the 1990s? Or will they reject her as another establishment figure out of touch with the needs of the Black community? Hmm.
Some very in-depth questions there. Our thoughtful leader put together.
Already in-depth questions. I have a question for you.
Sure.
Are you a part of the African American intelligentsia?
Am I? Are you? You should ask yourself that question.
Good question.
Intellectual producer du jour at the highfalutin left progressive sets, Jacobin. This is Revolution podcast. Ask yourself that question.
I guess that's true, right?
Exactly.
I was reading the script thinking, is Pascal part of the intelligentsia? I didn't know it.
I I think that there is a certain kind of I think that out of the black political class, there comes what Jason in this title called the black chattering class, which are the
Mhm.
media and literary professionals who will go along to help cater the political tastes of the black community and put them in line with normally the Democratic Party, and they do this in exchange for patronage, which we always call fat back and biscuits. We always talk about this particular class of people. I think that there are black people who are intellectuals. I
Mhm.
might be a black intellectual, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm part of the quote unquote traditional black intelligentsia, which may be more in line with that process of curtailing black political thought in a certain way and direction that has been traditionally in line with the normal ways of thinking about itself or the community, whether they
Hmm.
be nationalists or whether they be Pan Africanists that stick to a certain script. I do consider myself a Pan Africanist for other reasons, but the point I'm trying to say is that I think that uh, there are traditional Black intellectual and there's African American intellects that exists, but they don't necessarily have to be in line with the political vision of the Democratic Party. The type of African American intelligentsia or black chattering class that I think the questions that we're talking about addressing today are the ones that work at the behest of the Democratic Party to try to tailor the political aspirations of black voters to meet the demands of the Democratic Party. And in this case, that means to support Kamala Harris.
Hmm. That is a very good answer. Because I was going to ask you to define black chattering class as well, and what the difference is between the two. But these are the people who are sort of getting the fat back and biscuits from the DNC.
Yes.
Huh. Gotta follow the fat back and biscuits. You really do.
Yeah, you get a lot. There's a lot. You get a lot of gristle off that fatback and biscuit.
Lagers. So, how has the concept of identity politics evolved from the Obama era to the current political climate?
That's a really good question because I got to tell you, I was one of the first people who have to admit I thought that after Obama, with the rise of Trump, that um, identity politics was pretty much done for the Democratic Party because that Trump had just put the nail in the coffin with that one, and that
Mhm.
it really had worn its welcome out, and that the Republican Party had moved the political dialogue so far to the right that the Democrats' ability to use that again was pretty much vanquished. And what we see was with the weakness of the Biden presidency's campaign after his performance at that debate with Trump in his first debate of the political season this year,
Mhm.
that everyone all of a sudden circled wagons and was like, "Oh, Biden's got to go." Yeah, everyone's like, "Oh my God, he's just he can't do it. He can't do it." As if
Mhm.
this is the first time we saw Biden floundering at the microphone. I was like, we've seen Biden weak at the mic many times. I don't know why everyone's acting like now this is the first time that he had problems communicating. But once that was realized and it was pivoted, and Biden signaled that he was going to back Kamala Harris, I was uh I wasn't shocked that he said he was going to back her, but I was like, they're going to try this again. How are they going to pull this off? And
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say, it went up like a balloon, man. Uh, s- it really they marketed her as if she had never gone through a primary before. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
let's not forget this is a woman when she first tried to win in 2020 when she put up herself in candidacy. She was performing so badly with black voters that she had to pull out of the primary in 2020. She was doing
That's
that
right.
that terribly. So I was saying to myself, they're going to try to they're putting her they're trial ballooning her this time. I mean, I couldn't believe it, and lo and behold, it seems like it's working. It's resonating. Well, I mean, I'm seeing the amount of energy behind Kamala Harris. It's in some segments. It's like Obama, very similar to the Obama type energy that you had in 2008. But also, what you're seeing as well is that I think it's tied up in a certain class politics. Like I think that um, she has definitely the black professional managerial, the black PMC, the black professional managerial class tied now. That they definitely support her because she validates and vindicates them. She validates their presence and the overall working of American capitalism and vindicates them for all that they do to protect their interests there. So because of that, they are definitely whether or not supporting her. But the question becomes, what about the more disaffected working class segments of black supporters? We have certain phenomenon that has developed in the wake of Obama that we didn't have before. Certain
Mm-hmm.
identitarian kind of uh, authentication groups, for example, Foundation of Black Americans, ADOS, that are demanding that frankly, she's not black enough. She's not black. That she has no tie to the African American, traditional African American experience. Yeah, her father might be Jamaican, but she doesn't have ties to, the foundational Black American experience. And these voices aren't going anywhere. And what's happening is that a lot of those voices came to be born as a product of the failures of the Obama presidency to meet the needs and demands of African Americans in the wake of the 2008 subprime home crash, where
Mm-hmm.
black people lost something almost like 50 to 30, almost 35 to 50% of their wealth without recourse during the Obama presidency. So as a result, I was very shocked to see the Democrats pull out the Kamala Harris identity politics card. But so far, it's working for them not only with black voters, but it seems to have been it's poking interest in some Latinos as well as an increase in registration with some Latinos. So there's been a surge, like Del Sol Verde says, new data indicates a surge in voter registration among key demographics for the Democratic election. This data was compounded compared to 2020 by figures Target Smart. So what we're seeing is that there are no people comically younger people coming in registering to vote as opposed to Kamala Harris. So she's definitely bringing in energy to the to the Democratic Party that they did not have before. So that she's beating Trump in polls that Biden was failing at in terms of the swing states She's within the margin of error in many swing state polls. So far, the identity politics game is working very well because her position politics stances are very weak. She doesn't have
Hmm.
any kind of salient commentary she's making that justify anyone galvanizing around her candidacy. But at the same time, she's able to play the kind of you know I'm a warrior. I'm a joyful warrior kind of vibes. She's on the big on the vibes kind of thing,
Hmm.
and she's hoping that that'll be able to get her into office.